Welcome to the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast, your trusted source for simple strategies to improve your mental and physical fitness. Throughout this podcast, we will discuss how you can manage your mental health by practicing mental fitness, building emotional resilience and curiosity to handle life's challenges. We'll also highlight the crucial link between physical fitness and your overall mental well-being. My name is DJ Ligori, and I want you to realize that you are not alone with this challenge. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and welcome to today's episode. All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast, where we talk about mental and physical fitness. My name is DJ Ligori, and today we are on episode number 124. And thank you so much for taking the time to tune into today's episode. I'm going to talk about something that I really hope helps everybody as we start to kick off 2024, because it's something that, in a very interesting way, has actually made me feel better about some of the things that I have struggled with in my life. And I think have been getting to a point in my life where I'm learning how to better manage them. And I really owe a lot of that credit to the idea of mental fitness and the practice of mental fitness, and really changing the way that we handle challenge in our life and the way that we really view our own abilities to handle that challenge. And so one of the things that I actually want to start off today's episode with is I wanted to read something that I thought was really powerful that I heard from Alex Hormozi when he was being interviewed by Tom Bilyeu on impact theory. And I believe this was something that Tim Grover actually said. And Tim Grover was Michael Jordan's personal trainer, I believe. And Hormozi said, champions are broken. They lack something everyone else has, which is an off button. They just don't stop. Champions are broken. They lack something that everyone else has, which is an off button. They just don't stop. And I think that's really interesting, because I think that we idolize champions and celebrities and people who have gotten to these really high statuses in their life, yet it's come at a cost, right? It's come at a lot of really hard decisions. It's come at a lot of grit, a lot of mental toughness, a lot of not giving up. And all of that can be represented as not having an off switch, right? Not giving up. And I think this is interesting, because I think we praise people who do not give up, yet there's an extreme cost to not giving up. And I think that's kind of interesting when you really wrap your head around it. And as I started to really think about, all right, these champions who push themselves to really high level, and whether you're a champion in your business, or whether you're a champion athletically, or whether you're a celebrity, right? However you want to define the champions, and there might be champions in your local community. There might be champions within the business that you work for. They probably have something similar to where they just don't give up, right? They don't have an off switch. They just keep going towards whatever goal they're trying to achieve. And as I started to think more about like the people that I really enjoy spending time with and the people that I like to surround myself with, I realized that I think everybody actually is broken to some degree. And I think we're broken to some degree. And because of that, we then try to fill whatever area of our life is broken by whatever pursuits we try to achieve and try to go after. And over the past 5 years of getting involved with Acres of Diamonds and helping people become more mentally fit to handle challenge in their life, I've had the honor of meeting lots of different people all the way from middle school all the way up to CEOs of really lucrative businesses, and understanding the challenges that humans in general, I think, face. And in the beginning of the work, I really was surprised to see all of the similarities that people would bring to a lot of the group sessions. And those similarities around feeling like their challenges were very unique to them. They don't necessarily feel seen, heard, and understood, maybe in their relationships or maybe in their professional life. And them wanting more with their presence and who they are and kind of what they're creating, sometimes questioning, are they on the right path personally or professionally? And in the beginning, I was like, wow, this is kind of wild. Like, a lot of these people are struggling and broken, you could say, with the same things. And as I started to be exposed to more and more and more people, I almost started to expect it. And I started to expect people to have certain challenges because I had evidence of hundreds of people by this point that this is probably what they are struggling with because these are things that I've struggled with. These are things that I've seen 35 other people struggle with. There's probably a high probability that this person could be struggling with some of those things as well. And so it made me kind of come to this realization that I truly believe that every person is actually broken. It isn't just champions. I think the next question is, to what degree are you broken? And to what degree are you willing to fix whatever that brokenness is, or whatever that void is, or that lack is in your life? And what are you willing to do for it? And I think we grow up with our parents, our coaches and teachers, and our community leaders, and we think that they always have the right answers, or that we think that they are our role models and the strongest and smartest people that we know, to only realize once we get to, our 20s, our 30s, 40s, to realize that they're broken in their own way too. And they were trying to do the best that they could with the information that we have, that they had. And that's really all we can kind of appreciate. And I think that's something that's very important to understand is our parents and teachers and mentors and all of the people that really raised us, even though they were broken in their own ways, they did the best that they literally could. And that's saying something. And so as we all realize just kind of where we might be broken in our life, and when I say broken, these could be insecurities, these could be flaws, these could be things that you really might not necessarily want to talk a lot about because it's painful and it causes you to have thoughts that aren't that great. That's what I mean when I say we could be broken. And for me personally, growing up and still to this day, my two broken areas of my life was when I was really little. I think I've talked a little bit about this before. I had a very graphic injury to my left arm. And after all of the physical therapy and the recovery of basically getting my arm back to normal, it was severely smaller than basically the whole right side of my body. And my little second grade brain created this idea that I wasn't strong because I had this very deformed, small, weak arm. And so for the rest of my life, and literally up to this point of me recording this, I tried to disprove that belief by working out. And that is my broken part in that void of my life and how I'm actually trying to fix it. And that's where the weight rooms of libraries and weight rooms actually comes into play because of how important it is to my life. It's actually filling a void and a flaw of my own thinking. And so I had the same thing happen to me when I was in second grade. I got put into extra help classes because I was a slow learner. And I even didn't realize that I was a slow learner because I was a slow learner until I was reading a book, I believe it's called The Bernstein Bears. And I remember getting stuck on the word donut. And I had a really hard time saying the word donut. And after like 10 minutes of working through this, I realized that I actually was much slower than all the kids academically. And right then and there, in my little second grade brain, I created this idea that I wasn't smart. So I had to work harder than everybody academically in order to get the marks that I needed to get to graduate and move on and make progress. So that's where the libraries comes into play, the libraries and weight rooms. And so this whole podcast in and of itself is me trying to fix that broken piece of me that I wasn't that proud of, and me trying to fulfill those empty spots where I didn't feel enough or where I didn't feel brave and courageous and confident. And so I want this episode to be one to kind of kick off 2024 to realize that we're all going to be broken in our own ways and we're all going to do different things to fulfill whatever it is that is broken about us. I just happened to start a podcast in order to kind of get this out of me. And so what I've realized is when we work with people who, want to be more mentally fit, they want to handle challenge better in their life, what I've realized is they want to do this in a setting where they don't want to be judged. And they want to do this where they actually feel safe with sharing their experiences and sharing the things that might be broken about them or they might be struggling with. And that's where Acres of Diamonds and our facilitators and how we run our groups, we do this in a very specific way to where we actually tell you where we're broken. We get vulnerable first with you in order to let you know that it's okay for you to reciprocate when you're ready, right? There's no pressure to do it. Yet if you want to, we're going to listen. And that's what I've realized is the key to actually making a lot of progress with your mental fitness is understanding what are the challenges that are actually stopping me? What are the limiting beliefs that I actually have? What are the insecurities that I don't really want to talk about? Yet when I actually get the courage to talk about it, I actually feel a lot better. And that's another common thing that I've seen is when people actually start talking about the things that they are pained with the most, that has caused them the most amount of stress, challenge, anxiety, and uncertainty in their life, it actually feels really good to them. Because what they do is they shine a light on something that they typically would not shine a light on. And they bring it to the forefront and basically say, you're not in the dark anymore. I'm looking at you. You're a real thing, and I'm going to take care of you now. And it's almost like these things are like hiding within us, and we find them. It's almost like an interpersonal game of hide and seek. And that's, I think, something that is so universal to everybody around where are we broken in our lives and what have we been challenged with that we might not know how to solve yet. And that's okay. Like there's challenges in our life that we might not know exactly what to do yet. And that's where I just genuinely believe in the concept of mental fitness and training your mind like a muscle is going to allow us to have a higher probability of understanding that challenge and then working towards finding possible solutions. So don't feel like you missed something because your thoughts about yourself aren't always that great. Because in all honesty, my thoughts about myself aren't always that great. Don't feel like there's something wrong with you if you feel confused or you feel misguided or misunderstood. Because I bet you your best friends, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, your classmates, all of them at some point in their life, and they might still be focusing on this or still be working through this, have been confused, have been misguided, or have been misunderstood. Don't feel like you are the only broken person in your friend group or your family, because we're all broken in our own unique way. And that's what makes it so cool. That's what makes it so cool. We're all broken in our own unique way. And that's how we connect amongst one another. And I've done a podcast before on thinking about like the two puzzle pieces, the two perfect circles, they can't connect with one another. We need to have those jagged edges and those cuts and those corners of those broken pieces to actually be able to connect. So I wanted just to have this message as I kind of wrap up 2023 and think about the things that I've learned and the things that have become important to me in understanding the human experience and understanding the things that have been beneficial to helping me move forward amongst my own personal challenge, my own professional challenges, and things along those lines. So for another year of the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast, which now we know why I actually call it that, I want to say thank you so much to anybody who's taken the time out of their day to listen to these episodes. I'm trying to get better at them. I'm trying to really understand how can I provide value in quick 10 to 15 minute segments that can really help you live a more mentally fit and physically fit life. So thank you everybody for tuning in to today's episode, and I look forward to continuing the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast in 2024. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Libraries and Weight Rooms podcast. If you received something interesting from today's episode, we would kindly appreciate if you could leave us a rating or review, or even share this podcast with someone you believe needs to hear its message. The Libraries and Weight Rooms brand is a division of our parent company, Acres of Diamonds, where we are on a mission to end mental suffering through mental fitness. If you would like to learn more about our mission and support this cause, please visit our website at www.youracresofdiamonds.com. Take care, keep leading, and we will talk to you soon.